Have you ever woken up and you're thirsty? Like, really thirsty? Like your throat is bone dry and it feels like you haven't drank anything in days? Well, a few weeks ago, I woke up thirsty. It was nothing out of the ordinary. I occasionally woke up thirsty with a scratchy sore throat. I just shrugged it off and walked downstairs to the kitchen to get a glass of orange juice. What was odd was the fact that drinking the orange juice didn't make me any less thirsty. In fact, it almost seemed like it made me thirstier. So I poured myself another glass, and another, and another, and another. I soon realized that I had a problem. I also really had to take a piss. Once again, I shrugged it off and got ready for work. I work in an office building answering phone calls all day. Not the most exciting job in the world, I suppose. Most of the calls were angry customers demanding I send them to someone higher up, but there were the occasional whack jobs that made my day. Once I arrived at work, I was even thirstier, so I walked over to the coffee pot and poured myself a glass. Now, I'm not a huge coffee fan, the taste just doesn't appeal to me, but I found myself going back for more and more. Soon, one of my coworkers complained that there was no coffee left, and I mumbled an apology. After that, I started drinking the water from one of those giant upside-down water jugs. Well, soon that was empty. When my lunch break rolled around, I was getting pretty desperate, so I headed out for lunch, despite the fact that I had brought food to eat. I stopped at the nearest gas station and bought one of those huge freaking 64-ounce cups. I filled it up to the brim with some soda and went back to work. That 64-ounce cup didn't last long. Only about 10 minutes. I kept refilling it at the water fountain near the restrooms, and I was starting to get weird looks from my coworkers. "Did you start some new medication or something?" Mike asked. Mike sat at the cubicle next to mine. He had only been working here for a week or two. "No, I'm just really thirsty, and I'm not really sure why," I replied. "Man, I'd be pissing all day if I drank all that water," he exclaimed. He got another call and answered it, leaving me stuck in my thoughts. When I got home from work, I quickly drank all of the juice, tea, and milk in my house, hoping it would quench my thirst, but no such luck. I fell asleep that night with an even drier throat than what I had woken up with. The next morning, when I got up, my throat felt like it was on fire. I ran to the bathroom and drank large gulps of water straight from the sink, but it didn't help. I stared at my reflection in the mirror, and crazed, bloodshot eyes stared back at me. I didn't go to work that day, or the next day. I just sat alone in my house, drinking as much water as I could. My water bill was sure to skyrocket, but I just couldn't help myself. And the thirst was getting worse, and worse, each time I drank something. It felt like the devil himself was trying to crawl up through my throat and out my mouth. I had almost no saliva left in my mouth, and my tongue was dry as sandpaper. It was starting to drive me crazy. Eventually it got so bad that I would just black out for periods of time. At first it was only a few seconds or minutes, but soon it was hours, and not just 2 or 3 hours, but 6 to 9 hours on end. I had no idea what was happening or what I was doing during those blackouts. There's some red liquid in my fridge, in a pitcher. I think it's Kool-Aid. It smells more metallic-y than fruity, but I'm so thirsty. I don't remember making this, but it looks so good. Maybe it'll quench my thirst. Yeah, it probably will.